And realize as well, dear Muslims, that this question of evil, this question of pain, this question of dhulm and fasad, it was asked by people, by entities, by creation greater than us. Even before we existed, when Allah announced our creation, what did the angels ask? Oh Allah, the angels said, why would you create a creation in which there's going to be so much evil? أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا. There's going to be bloodshed, there's going to be civil war, bombs are going to be dropped, innocent children are going to be killed. Oh Allah, why are you creating this world? Even the angels asked. So if the angels ask, surely I have a right to ask, and you have a right to ask. Even the angels questioned, Oh Allah, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ. Why would you put in this world those creations? They're going to be tyrants. They're going to be causing fitna. They're going to be shedding bloodshed. تُسْفِكُ الدِّمَاء. Why would you do this? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied to them, and that is one reply that gives some light. One of the wisdoms in all of this is that when evil happens, when pain happens, when tragedy happens, there is an element of our iman being tested. And the iman's test, how do you pass that test? You pass that test by putting your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what Allah said to the angels, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah's response was not a response that detailed why there is moral evil. Allah did not go down a list. I'm going to explain to you why there are tyrants. I'm going to explain the wisdom of Fir'aun. I'm going to explain the wisdom of Israel. I'm going to explain the wisdom of apartheid. I'm going to explain the wisdom of American slavery. No, Allah did not go down a list of pointing out why there is moral evil. Rather, what Allah said to the angels, you're going to have to trust that my knowledge is more than yours. إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And this is why when a tragedy happens, one of the most important elements of passing that tragedy is to have in your heart a sense of iman, that Allah knows and I do not know. And this is what Allah reminds the Sahaba when those incidents took place in the Battle of Tabuk, when the Sahaba themselves were feeling very themselves on edge. What is going on? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran that what should the Sahaba say? قُلْ لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. Nothing's going to happen to me except what Allah has decreed is going to happen to me. And Allah is my Mawla. He loves me. He protects me. He is my Rabb and my Mawla. This is the phrase the Sahaba were taught. لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Nothing's going to happen except Allah has written it. Iman in Qadar. Iman in Allah's knowledge. Iman in Allah's hikmah. This is a part and parcel of our life. Whether what happens is a moral evil, whether what happens is a natural tragedy, we always placate ourselves, calm ourselves down, bring comfort to the heart. This is not random. It's not a bunch of molecules coming together and things happen spontaneously. There is no spontaneity in Allah's creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed not a leaf falls except that He has decreed it. Not a drop of rain will come except that Allah knows from where to where and how it's going to get there. Do you think this world is all random? No. لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. So when you know that Allah is in charge, and when you know that your Rabb and your Mawla has decreed this to happen, then at some level, you don't understand the wisdom, but at some level you trust, you know what? Allah is my Mawla, He'll take care of me. And that thiqa in Arabic, that trust, it is manifested over and over again in the stories of the prophets, in the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like Musa alayhi salam, when he is fleeing from Fir'aun, and Allah told him, you have to run this direction. Allah did not tell him what to do. Allah just said, go here. And when he gets and he sees the Red Sea in front of him, and he sees the army of Fir'aun, and the people of Musa say, we're gone, we're dead, nothing's going to happen. What does Musa reply? Kalla, no. Inna ma'iya Rabbi. Allah is with me. I didn't get here all alone. It's not coming out of random. Allah told me to come. This is where I am. Inna ma'iya Rabbi sayahdeen. Allah is with me. Allah will find a way out. He did not know the Red Sea would be parted. This wasn't in the plan told to him. But he knew Allah had a plan. You do what you have to do. And when you get to a place where you don't know how to cross, guess what? Allah will make a crossing for you. وَيَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever puts your trust in Allah, Allah will find a way out for him. In the Ghar of Thawr, when the Prophet and Abu Bakr are there, and the Prophet is not told the whole plan. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know there's going to be a spider putting a web or a pigeon's going to come. He doesn't know any of this. All he knows, Ya Abu Bakr, what do you think of two people? Allah is the third of them. Don't worry, Allah is here with us. Don't worry. Don't be scared. Allah is with us. That level of trust can only come when you have iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Regardless of moral evil or personal tragedy, when you have iman in Allah, it helps you deal. You might not understand, you might not know the way out, but it will help you cope with that pain and that suffering. Also, both moral evil and pain and tragedy, we can respond to them that the goal or one of the primary goals of these types of evils and pains is that it allows each one of us to maximize our potential in the eyes of Allah. It allows us to go higher, to become better, to become more spiritual. Our taqwa goes higher, our iman goes higher. The fact of the matter, we are so weak that when life is good, iman goes down. This is the general rule. There are always exceptions. But the general rule, when the money comes, when the free time is there, when the family is all happy, generally iman becomes a little bit, standard. It becomes stagnant. It actually goes down. When does iman get strengthened? At times of difficulty. At times of difficulty, we rediscover Allah. At times of pain, our du'as become so personal, so powerful. At times of tragedy, we discover the Quran all over again. We take it out of the shelf and we put the dust off and we read it. At times of immense suffering, we start thinking, maybe I should pray tahajjud, maybe I should do more dhikr, maybe I should... What is the wisdom here? Allah wanted you to reach that potential. And unfortunately, the dunya was clouding my heart and yours. Unfortunately, we were not reaching that potential. But Allah wants us. And so, as Ibn al-Qayyim says in his famous work on pain, on suffering, on evil, as Ibn al-Qayyim says, and this is a beautiful point, any pain that brings you closer to Allah is not a pain, it is a blessing. Any tragedy that allows you to rediscover, rekindle your ta'alluq, your alaqa with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is not a tragedy. It is a gift Allah has given you. There is no tragedy in strengthening your relationship with Allah. And so, if bombs are falling, if you lose a loved one, if you suffer a bankruptcy, and in the process, your relationship with Allah is strengthened, this is not a tragedy. This is a gift, because nothing is more precious than your relationship with Allah. Nothing! So when Allah takes something away to draw you closer to Him, in reality, He wants you to be closer to Him. And that is a blessing. Your status is guaranteed. Your maqam has been solidified. Allah wants you. Allah has chosen you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lifting you up to get that level. And there is no question in our minds that our brothers and sisters in Gaza, Allah has chosen them for this task. Allah has lifted them up and made them role models. But every one of us in our personal tragedies, every one of us in our personal journeys, we have that potential as well. And of course, of the things we say to both of these tragedies, the moral evil and the natural, is that we firmly believe there is an akhirah. We firmly believe sins are forgiven. We firmly believe Allah's reward happens. Wallahi, I feel sorry for those people who don't believe in God and don't believe in a hereafter. How will they remain sane when they're surrounded by evil? How will they get a sense of justice? Where will optimism come from when a loved one goes away, when their dunya is taken away? If they don't have an akhirah and the dunya is their akhirah, well then, what point is there of life after that? But for us who believe in an akhirah, and we know the dunya is temporary, we know for how long, even if you had this blessing, for how long? For how long will you live? So when Allah takes a blessing away early, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes, you have in your heart, well, inshallah, it's temporary. I will meet up next life. Whatever pain I have now will be replaced with happiness in the akhirah. Whatever sadness will be substituted with joy. Whatever grief will be eternal bliss. You have something to look forward to. And this is of the wisdoms of why we have pain and evil. Now, specifically when it comes to moral evil, there are certain things that we have to add here that we don't add for the natural disasters and calamity. The moral evil, of the wisdoms why certain people's evil is manifested, of the wisdoms why Fir'auns exist, Taghuts exists, Jababira exists, Israel exists, and they're doing this dhulm. Of the wisdom is that when you see evil with your eyes, you are motivated to fight it with good. And people come together and their goodness is manifested. And in that, alhamdulillah, much good happens. There must be a level of injustice so that righteous people fight for justice. There must be a level of hunger so that righteous people come together to feed the hungry. There must be orphans so that good people sponsor the orphans. So when there is negative, it brings about the positive of others. And we see this happening around the world. We are thankful. We are thankful to certain nations and countries like South Africa. We give them credit like our Prophet ﷺ gave credit to those in the Quraysh who stood up for justice. Wallahi, we are so proud of this country that sued Israel in the National Court of the United Nations and is listing all the grievances. We are ashamed none of our countries have done so, but we thank Allah that somebody exists that has done so. Truly an exemplary light. So this leads us to another wisdom of why there's Fir'auns. When you have Fir'auns, automatically you see your enemies from your allies. Just like our Prophet ﷺ remembered those of the Quraysh, like Mut'im ibn Adi, who helped him, and he thanked Mut'im even after Mut'im dies. I say loudly and clearly, we shall not forget the benefit and the sacrifice that South Africa has done. We know this, and the Muslim world shall remember what it has done today and yesterday in suing this apartheid regime. If any country knows apartheid, it is South Africa. If any country has seen what evil dictators and tyrants can do, it is South Africa. And so for them to stand up, it is a point of benefit for us. And we shall acknowledge and never forget this positive, like our Prophet ﷺ also acknowledged the good that certain members of the Quraysh had done. And we also see our enemies. Because when you have Fir'auns, people whom you thought were your friends will become on the side of Fir'aun. And we see this as well. What a blessing it is that those people whom we thought were our allies, we are seeing right now, before the situation gets worse, we are seeing them forget their Muslim names, their loyalties are with the apartheid regime. Forget the outer cultures they come from, forget the places they are. It is not a place that makes you holy, it is your actions. So when we see our own, some of them, a'udhu billah, Muslim leaders and names, siding with apartheid against Palestine and against Masjid al-Aqsa, then we thank Allah we have seen the hypocrite with our own eyes, so that we know and we will not forget. Muslims, do not forget the traitors and the treacherous people in our ranks. We need to know now before the situation gets worse, so that we are not stabbed in the back from the very people who claim to be our allies. This is a wisdom in this dunya. It is a wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown, and Allah mentions this in the Quran. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا, so that you can know the munafiqun. So we thank Allah we have seen who the munafiqun are, and we thank Allah we have seen who our allies and our partners are. Of the wisdoms as well, when it comes to this moral reality, this moral injustice, of the wisdoms of seeing evil from others, is that Allah mentions this in the Quran. فَانظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ فَانظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الظَّالِمِينَ. Look at the end result of the mujrims and the tyrants. Look at where is Fir'aun now? Where is the power and might of Fir'aun? What happened to all of the evil rulers and even those who weren't punished in this world? Their legacies are the worst until the day of judgment. Hitler did not have any trial, he shot himself. Hitler did not face justice in this dunya. But the legacy of this man, everybody despises him. And this is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you are a tyrant, when you're an evil person, either in this world you will be shown like Pharaoh, like Abu Jahl, like the leaders of Quraysh that opposed the Prophet ﷺ, or your history it will be shown. Either way, you will not come out the winner. And of the wisdoms of seeing moral evil, seeing it, there's wisdom of seeing tyranny and injustice, is that we look forward to the day of judgment. We look forward to Yawm al-Din, Yawm al-Qiyamah, because we realize there cannot be ultimate justice in this world. Wallahi, even if we were to catch the people who did this, how do you put to trial a person who has slaughtered 35,000 innocent people in Gaza? What jury is there? What punishment is there? What prison sentence is there? What execution technique is there that will bring justice for 17,000 children, for 4 hospitals bombed? What justice is there? Nothing in this world. Even if we were to capture, even if we were to put in jail, so what? So what happens when you see this dhulm? We realize who Allah is. Only Allah is the one who can do ultimate justice. Allah is Malik Yawmiddin. Do you understand now what Malik Yawmiddin means? This is what it means. Nobody has the right to judge and the power to judge and the power to execute judgment properly other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we see dhulm taking place, and it's not just here, in the past, in the present, so many other regimes, so many other tyrants. There are tyrants in our own lands that have killed tens of thousands of people. The Qadhi of Syria is in front of us. He is a modern day Fir'aun. I've said this and I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Qadhi of Syria is a modern day Fir'aun. There's no question about it. The people he has killed, the way he has killed them. What justice will possibly be given in this dunya? We wait for the akhirah. We wait for Yawm al-Din. And on that day, every family who has had a child killed, every person who has been tortured, they will see the judgment of Allah and they will find a sense of happiness in that judgment that this dunya cannot give them.